Well, hey, my name is Jonathan Weinberger, and I build video games for a living. I actually have been doing this now for 16 years. I started off working for Cartoon Network and Adult Swim. I built a bunch of games for them. I started when I was not too much older than you guys. I started my programming journey when I was just a middle schooler working on private servers of my favorite video games. So I was really into this game called RuneScape. Maybe you've heard of it. And I got into the modding community. And then from that, I wanted to make my own video games. Today, I live in Hawaii and I have an entire team that I make video games with and teach other people how to make video games with. And so I'm going to share with you guys a little bit about my journey. And if you want to become a game developer and software engineer, I'm going to tell you exactly what you need to focus on and the opportunities that are available to you to do that. So here's a bit of background on me. When I was around middle schoolish, like 14, 15 years old in high school, I really got into programming and making video games. I wrote a book on programming when I was just 19 years old. After writing that book, I started working for Cartoon Network and making video games for them. I worked on games like Super Mega Coin Squad. If you're a Rick and Morty fan, if you've ever heard of that, Jerry's Game, Obladus, Duck Game, and I'll show you guys some of those games here in a minute. But as I was working for video games, I fell in love with this concept where my knowledge in craft for coding video games carried over seamlessly to the enterprise world. And so I started building applications for major companies like AT&T and Coca-Cola and GE. And then I started a training company. And from that, I started training the best minds in technology, from Unity to Apple to NBC Universal. And I even helped game studios make their games, like East Side Games and a handful of other indie smaller studios. My time at Adult Swim and Cartoon Network, these are some of the things I got to be a part of the production team and work on. Duck Game by far is my favorite game to date that I've ever developed. If you've ever played Super Smash Bros, or if you know that game, it's kind of like that. It's like ducks fighting, basically. Super Mega Coin Squad, Rick and Morty, Jerry's Game, and Robot Unicorn Attack, which is like an infinite runner game on mobile that was really popular back in the day. What I do today. So I'm actually helping kids pretty much your age get started programming video games, because when you guys are starting to code at your age, some of you are maybe 8, 9, 10, 11 years old, you guys genuinely have the opportunity to become the next Elon Musks of this world. I promise you guys, if you stay on this track, by the time you guys are 14, 15 years old, you will be better than I am. And I've been doing this for 16 years already. Right now, we work with organizations all over the US, including here in Hawaii, where we are helping to tech enable kids that are exactly your age and give them an opportunity to harness technology and do amazing things with it. It just happens to be that coding video games is really fun and exciting, and it's more accessible than ever before through programs like Unity, Unreal, what you guys are using with Scratch. That is a stepping stone to what the big players in the space are using. Our training program. So I've been specializing in coding now I've been doing this for 16 years. And what we specialize in is training software engineers and game developers for the industry. Many of our graduates work for some of the largest studios on the planet, from Blizzard to Treyarch to IBM, Coca-Cola, Apple, you name it. We have software engineers who are there, and many of them started when they were your age or a little bit older, interested in tech. All right. When it comes to programming video games, something that's really underlooked that I wish I paid more attention to in school was math. And when you look at like your favorite games, how many of you guys in here have played Angry Birds before? Yeah, a lot of Angry Birds, right? So when you guys get into okay, yeah, everyone's played Angry Birds, right? So Angry Birds, fun fact, it's made in the game engine called Unity, and the publisher behind it makes millions and millions of dollars. But the game developers on that game, they have to know a little bit of math. And I wish math was taught the way we teach it at GameDevHQ, and I wish it was taught the way it works in video games, because this is what when you create that flying projectile prediction effect in Angry Birds, it's called a parabola, which is a quadratic equation, which you will learn about when you are in high school. And I wish I paid more attention to that stuff, because it wasn't until I got serious with making video games that I started learning math. And by learning math, it unlocks a world of opportunities for you. If you want to create homing effects like a homing missile or projectile, if you want to create a projectile prediction system, if you want to create any video game where a monster is chasing you, you're going to use math. You guys might be too young for this, but there is an equation called a squared plus b squared equals c squared. Has anyone heard of that?
Pythagorean theorem.
Yes,
Yep.
correct.
Pythagorean theorem.
Yes, Pythagorean theorem. When I was your age, guys, I thought that was the most useless function in existence, and I don't know why I need this formula. What am I ever going to do with this in life? Well, it turns out every video game you've ever played uses Pythagorean theorem, because Pythagorean theorem is the distance formula in disguise. And so if I want to know how far away you are from me, and I need that enemy to chase me, I have to calculate the distance in my game. And in order to do that, I am actually using a squared plus b squared equals c squared to get the triangle distance, or the magnitude, for how far those two objects are. All right, so one of the best things I can tell you guys is, if you don't like math now, try and pay attention a little bit more. Look at it from a game-based perspective like this. But also, it's important to understand here that I was a terrible student in school when it came to math, guys. If it wasn't related to video games, I didn't even know it was at the time. I just didn't care, and I didn't do well at it. But because I was interested in building video games, I discovered the math I needed to learn, and I was able to teach myself it at a later time. But you guys are kids, and your brains are just rapidly developing and harnessing information. If you guys pay attention to math, it's going to make your journey a little bit easier in the game development coding world. But by no means do you have to be an expert. And even today, I'm not an expert, but I love math today because there's so many cool game features and game mechanics that I can code because I know math. Okay, so pretty neat. I want to show you guys a little bit inside of my world. This is what being a professional game developer looks like. You get to work on amazing projects, and I don't actually know if the audio is going to share for this stuff. I don't know if you guys can hear that or not.
I can't.
Give me 1 second here. If it's not, I can fix it.
You have to go into settings and put share.
Yeah, when I share it, I just gotta share sound. There you go.
Yeah, I can hear it.
There you go. So everything you see here, you know, this is what video games are. They are interactive 3D entertainment, sometimes 2D, and everything you see here, this was made in an engine called Unity. Unity is the largest real-time 3D authoring platform in existence. It's got millions of users. 50% of the games industry today is built using Unity. The other 50% is built using Unreal, other C++ engines, and various tools like Godot, Fortnite engine for Unreal. And there's another one I'm blanking on that's really good for kids too. It's I'm blanking on it. It's kind of like Minecraft. Roblox. Thank you. I'm sorry. Roblox Studio. So, but when you get into professional game development, there's really there's two tools of the trade that you're going to work on frequently. It's Unity in C# and Unreal in C++. That's where most AAA games are made today. And so my job as a game developer and software engineer, I live in the world of code, which means it's my job to bring all of the pretty pictures and animations to life. I create game logic that says, if the A key was pressed, then do something, or then play this animation. The logic and problem solving that you guys are learning right now in that Scratch tool is the equivalent to the logic and execution I would write to trigger an animation when the A key is pressed and a jump animation plays. All right. Now, where it gets really interesting, though, is that your skill set, and I think this was another one. Let me see here. Yeah, and this is just another highlight reel here. Your skill set when it comes to programming video games, it carries over seamlessly to the enterprise world. And this is something I learned about 4 years after building video games professionally. And I fell in love with this concept because you can build video games. You could build video games, but you could also go build the metaverse. You could build training simulations. You could build police training simulations, or medical sims, or data-driven design. Everything from film to automotive to architecture, engineering, construction. The entire metaverse is possible because of this technology. And so your skill set goes so far beyond gaming. I've made an entire career of helping educate people on what's beyond the games industry. because everything that you do when it comes to coding video games, that skill set can be applied to working for AT&T and developing augmented reality applications for a storefront. I'm going to show you guys a design video of where you can actually leverage what you learn in game development and how it can be applied to all these other industries. Before I get to that, who here has seen the movie Ready Player One, Jungle Book, Lion King? Any of those latest movies, real-time ones?
Me.
I have.
Okay, very cool. Any?
Lion King.
Okay, very cool. Okay, so all of those movies, they all share a similarity. The similarity is that today they were actually built and filmed using real-time technology like Unity. In real time, these movie directors were able to put on a headset and view a set and make real-time edits. TV shows today like Mandalorian, Umbrella Academy, Dave on FX, Ted Lasso, those films and TV shows are produced now using game engine technology like Unity and Unreal. So if you've ever wanted to work on a movie set, there are game developers on those movie sets. It's pretty neat. Okay, so let me go ahead and here. I want to show you guys what this looks like. So you're a game developer, you're programming video games. What does it look like to step into the beyond games industry? And this is every industry imaginable. Every Fortune 500 company in America right now and worldwide is experimenting with how we can leverage this technology to build services and products. And so real estate is one example where you can do walkthroughs of commercial buildings or even home decor. Transportation is a massive industry. Every industry imaginable. Ask your parents what they do for a living, and I promise you technology, R&D, which is research and development, is being built using Unity and Unreal right now for what your parents do for work. So I'm just gonna go ahead and let this play for you guys. The configuration market, guys, this is a $1 trillion marketplace worldwide on product configurations. And right now, everyone in existence is experimenting with how augmented reality and personalization can be used. The automotive industry is explosive. Every car manufacturer in existence, from Tesla to Nissan to Audi, Bugatti, you name it, Bentley, they are using Unity or Unreal in their dev space. Data visualization is huge. Not as exciting as some of the other ones, but it is massive. It's an opportunity. Governments, DoD contractors, guys, they use this stuff like crazy. This is a huge market for training and simulation, whether it's for the National Guard, whether it's for police training, medical training, education assistance, like you name it, any amount of training opportunities. Right now, Walmart is training 1 million employees through the use of VR that was built on a Unity application. And so what's really amazing here is everything you see here, it's almost like a video game. You're triggering animations based on input. That's no different than a video game. You're creating a sequence of events, which is the same thing of triggering a sequence of animations in a game. It's all just if-then logic. And again, everything you're seeing here, this was all built in just the Unity engine platform, which today 50% of all video games are built, 80% of all XR applications, which is like augmented and virtual reality, it's all built with Unity. By far the most accessible professional engine that's freely available to use. Tattooing is also a big industry. You guys are a little too young for that, but you can imagine the risk this minimizes for clients of a tattoo shop. All right, so that is the beyond games industry, guys. So when you go beyond gaming, you open up yourself to $1 trillion marketplace. Today, the video games industry is a $200 billion industry. It's massive. You guys might be a little too young to put into perspective, like how much money that is for an industry, but it's bigger than film, sports, entertainment all together, like bigger than Taylor Swift. When you look at the beyond games industry, while the $200 billion games industry is massive, it's one of the largest industries in the world, you have $1 trillion marketplace when you go beyond gaming, because everything from film to automotive to architecture, engineering, all those other industries you just saw, your skill set can be applied to those markets and those employers and things like that. So you are so valuable as a software developer. What you're looking at here is real code that's actually published in a real video game that I wrote at Cartoon Network. And this is a character controller that I wrote. And this is my life. Like my life revolves around a screen filled with commands and coding commands. It's not my job to make the pretty pictures. I just bring it all to life and I solve problems through code. And it's one of the most exciting things that I've ever done, to where I've been doing it now for 16 years and I still love it to this day. And the best thing about this industry, guys, is if you love problem solving, if you love learning, if you love overcoming just challenges, and if you love writing code, there is so much demand for you to dive into an opportunity like this, what you guys have here. It's not uncommon. You guys can look it up. Look at 11 and 12-year-olds that are making apps today. There are kids all over the world that are producing apps and just starting businesses because they can actually code. You'll get picked up the day you guys turn 18. If you started coding when you were 10 years old or even a little older or younger, you guys are going to be so far ahead of any four-year college grad who waited till they went to college to start learning. You guys have no idea how ahead of the curve you are. This is a student project here. So this is someone who started programming with us when they were just 15 years old. And after 9 months, they started building their own 3D video game. And this student now works for a game studio called Bossa. They're the makers of I Am Bread, I Am Fish, and a few other games. Let me see if it's gonna load. There we go. Ooh. Sorry guys, I'm not sure what's lagging here. Okay, let's see. So we created basically a 3D starfighter game, has homing missiles, has level selections, and everything you see here, this was all coded from scratch. He basically sourced the assets off of some online library, things like that. And I don't know why this video does not want to load all the way. So, how sad. This is a good one. Let me see if we can.
It's probably because of the Zoom.
Yeah, it could be. Zoom takes a lot of bandwidth sometimes. All right, there we go. We got a little bit further. Okay, there we go. So this is someone who started programming. He was 15 years old, no coding experience, and 9 months later, inside of Unity, he had an idea to bring this vision of his game to life, and he did. He coded it, created all these animations for barrel rolls, the math needed, the physics needed for the homing missiles, the cutscene development, how movies are created. He learned the tools called Timeline and Cinemachine. And he actually released this game on Steam.
What's it called?
This is called Strife. Strife, Battle for the something? Battle for the Southern Star.
Oh, okay.
So this is what
You can play that?
Yeah, you can play this. Yep, you could go download it, play it. This is a game he built, and this is by one person.
Play it.
One person. I will find a link for you guys and send it out. This is on Steam, and there's a handful of other games like it. Lifestyle of a game developer. So, yeah, what question?
Did he earn from it?
How much money did he earn from it? That's a great question. I don't know. That game specifically, I don't know. There's another game.
Is the game in Scratch?
No. The game was made That was Unity. Yeah, the game was made in Unity.
Oh,
When it comes to how much money you can make by releasing like your own game, it can vary, guys. The games industry, like it's more accessible than ever to make games. Like you guys are making games.
Can we leave?
And when you make like when you release a game today, there's so much marketing you have to do. I don't know what Strife made when he released it, but I have another student who released a game called Crumbling World. And if we have time, I'll show you that one. And he made like $15,000 the day he released it. And that might seem like a lot, but not necessarily enough to like start a studio or anything like that. But people do all the time. You can make thousands of dollars. You can sometimes make millions of dollars making your own games. If
Like-
you've ever heard of the game called Crossy Road, which is like Frogger, Crossy Road was built by one person and generated $1 million in 45 days.
We're
Like,
making that right now.
oh, you're making a Crossy Roads game? There you go. Release it out to the world. Who knows? Maybe you'll make $1 million. So lifestyle, guys, of a software engineer and game developer. You get a high starting salary. If you're in the Bay Area, if you're in California, things like that, your salaries are oftentimes a lot higher than most of the rest of America or the world.
You can also get $1 billion. Like, you can get like billions, like Roblox. They have
Oh
like
my God, yeah, Roblox is making Roblox is making billions. They are. Also Clash of Clans and Candy Crush, those games are making billions in any game by Zynga, basically.
Even simple
Fortnite.
games.
Yeah. Guys, there's so much money in games. There is so much money in games. If you go down this road, there is an opportunity for you guys to make your own games and be successful, or you can go work for others. I've done it both ways and it works really well both ways. Lifestyle, when you're a game developer, guys, your salary starting out, I don't know if money means anything to you guys at this age, but 70 to 90K starting out is what you typically see today. You'll get free healthcare no matter where you work for most studios. You can work from home. You know, I haven't gone into an office in 8 years, and I can be wherever, I can be anywhere I want in the world, and I can make a video game. And then of course, as a game developer, guys, you do get free video games. I haven't actually paid for a video game in years. I don't recall the last game I actually had to buy. The new Harry Potter game came out and I got a free license key from the developers, and I didn't have the Xbox to even support the game. And so I emailed them back. And so they sent me an Xbox to play their game. That's how accessible games are when you are a game developer in this space. Developers will just send you equipment and free games, which is awesome if you love playing video games. Okay, so how do you guys continue what you're doing, and how do you become a game developer and software engineer? What makes you stand out? What makes you successful in this industry? For starters, you have to have a passion for games. If you are in it for the money, it's going to be really hard. If you don't like problem solving, it's also going to be kind of hard. Programming video games is a marathon. It's not a sprint. It's a lifelong learning journey. You should love the challenge that it brings, and you should love the industry, you know, passion for gaming. When you look at a video game, your first thought might be, oh, I can't wait to play that. That's how I used to be as well when I was playing video games. Today, when I see an amazing video game come out, I no longer look at it and say, man, I can't wait to play that. It's more so, man, I wish I could have worked on that game. And that's the mindset that you should have when you look at video games. It's almost like an art form now. You guys are becoming game developers. Start looking at games as if you wished you could have made that game, and start thinking about how those mechanics work. Think about the next video game you play. Recognize that you are processing inputs and things are happening. It's thousands of lines of if-then comments. So having a passion for games and a passion for learning is really what's going to set you apart from everyone else. You need Unity game engine experience or Unreal Engine experience if you want to work for like AAA video games, but also having Scratch experience, having JavaScript experience, C#, C++ coding experience. These are what video games are made with. That's kind of the experience you're going to need. And then when it comes to college, guys, you guys are so young that truthfully, by the time you guys hit 18, college is going to be completely optional. By the time you guys are 18, some of you are going to have 6 years plus of coding experience. You're already a senior engineer before you go to college. There are studios that will hire you right out of high school. If you do want to go to college, you're going to be able to get into the best CS colleges in the world because you have all of this experience that you get to bring to their school. All right. Here's another example of what happens when you start at your age, guys. This is Samuel Arminana. That's me on the left. He's on the right in the red shirt. And he started coding with me when he was 11 years old, just about the same age as you guys. By the time he was 16, he was working for a Nintendo Switch game studio as a part-time high school student. As soon as he graduated, he got a $70,000 job at EA as a software engineer, and he just didn't go to school after that. Today, he's 23 years old, I believe, and he makes over $100,000 working on educational video games that teach people how to do math. And it all started because he started coding when he was your age. When I say you guys have the ability to become like the next Elon Musks of this world, it's because of what can happen because of people like Sam. When you guys are going through this and you're 11, 12, 13, 14 years old, you guys will accelerate so much quicker than anyone who waits till they're in college to learn this stuff. You guys have the ability to change the world through technology, and it really comes down to what do you want to do in life. If you want to go to school, fantastic. Otherwise, there are so many studios that will take you the minute you graduate high school. You don't even have to wait. Go get a part-time job in high school being a developer, and you will make an incredible life for yourself. Okay, so that pretty much wraps up everything here. This is a student of ours who's 15 years old right now, and this is the game he's actually working on. It's still in development. It's not released. How many of you guys have seen that WALL-E? You guys have seen WALL-E before, right? The Disney TV or movie. He created a game inspired by WALL-E. This is built in Unity, and he basically found some assets online and started making his video game. So here, I will let that play. While that's going, if there's any questions, I think we do have a few minutes. If there's any questions, I don't know if there's 120